Hello, this is Linda. You may have already watched my video about fundraising as a career. What are you crazy? But I also wrote another small book, a quick guide to how to advance in your fundraising career. I wrote this with my good friend Joanne Oppelt. She and I wrote a series of quick guides. And this is a very short, easy to read book talking about advancing in the career of fundraising once you're in this field for a while. So today I'm going to just read from you briefly an excerpt from the chapter 8 on moving up and moving on. At some point in the career of every development professional, there comes a time when some tough decisions must be made. Is it time to ask for a higher level position within the organization? Do you stick it out in a position that's reached its potential, or is it time to shake the dust from your feet and move on? In a larger organization, there will be more room for growth into positions of increasing responsibility and visibility. In smaller organizations, there is often not much room for growth unless you can move into a management position. So there are several options available for you. Moving into a different position in development. Often when you start an entry-level position in a development office, there is room for growth. For example, if you start as a development assistant, learning the database and all aspects of fundraising, you might move into a position of more responsibility and eventually become the chief development officer. Some ways to prepare for this growth are to learn as much about the development office operations as possible. Learning the donor's interests and preferences can be helpful when you have the opportunity to move into the position of working directly with these donors. Learning valuable skills such as planning and working with volunteers can also prove helpful if you want to move into a new position in the development office. Sometimes you move up the ladder by being promoted from within. One of the drawbacks of being promoted from within is that it's often hard for the organization's leadership to envision you in a higher level position. Some ways to overcome this are to accept leadership roles whenever possible, to act and dress professionally, and to display an air of confidence that comes with knowledge. Attending classes and workshops is very helpful. Enrolling in graduate programs may prove to be a valuable move. If there is a particular specialty in which you are interested, such as special events, planned giving, grants, and foundation relations, learn as much as possible about that specialty to become the office's expert in that area. This could lead to a promotion or even a new position being created within the organization. Moving into an executive position is another option. Once you reach the highest level within the development office, the options to move up are usually limited to becoming an executive director. While this was not likely in years past, the likelihood of a development professional becoming the chief executive officer within a nonprofit are becoming more and more commonplace. In higher education settings, for example, more college and university presidents are coming from the development field than from the academic field. An experienced development officer will often have acquired the skills to lead an organization forward as its chief executive officer. Skills learned in the development field, such as planning, building strong relationships, and being the public face of an organization, are easily translated into leadership positions. Because good fundraising skills are valued in an executive director, organizations are more interested in promoting development professionals into leadership roles than ever before. Another option is moving to another organization. Sometimes you move up the ladder by changing employers, like Joanne did, my co-author. Joanne's career involved moving up over a period of 20 years from grant writer to an executive director. As grant writer, Joanne learned about both inter and intra-organizational collaborations. She needed to articulate new health programs for other people to implement, as well as create community support for those programs. So there is an option of moving to another organization. And the final option that we discuss in the book is possibly thinking about moving into consulting. And I have another book that I'm going to be talking to you about the consulting role. So I won't talk too much about that. But this is a field where there are unlimited possibilities. And if you don't find the possibility in the organization you're at, you really have to face some reality. Do you love that organization enough that you want to stay there and be committed? Or perhaps there's another organization out there where you'll feel equally as comfortable with their mission and able to progress at a much higher rate. So this is all about advancing in your career, and what you want to do is the most important decision to make. Where are you going to be happy? So I encourage you to pick up our book and read it if you can, The Nonprofit Guide, How to Advance in Your Fundraising Career. And I wish you much success in whatever you decide is best for you. Bye.